The Cleveland Cavaliers are one of the best teams in the league right now, and now they have a piece that is due to make his season debut really soon. Of course, I'm referring to the one, the only, Max Strus. A man who is about to feast in the new offense that head coach Kenny Atkinson has installed. And with that being said, let's take a look at 3 specific ways in which Max Strus makes this already great Cleveland Cavaliers team even better. Number 1, spacing. This was obviously the primary draw when the Cavs acquired him back during the 2023-24 offseason period, so it only seems right that we begin here. First things first, Max Strus adds a level of floor spacing that many of the wings on the roster just don't right now. He was a career 36.5 shooter from 3-point range and finished with a modest 35.1% in his first campaign in wine and gold. But to look at the percentages doesn't truly paint an accurate picture of how impactful the spacing he brings to the table is. It's more so how he manages to do so. Strus thrives in catch and shoot situations and is always active off the ball. It is probably my favorite thing about his game. His ability to move without the ball creates constant pressure on opposing defenses, very similar to the effect that Sam Merrill can have at times. The constant movement, whether it be flying around screens or cutting to the basket in a multitude of ways, tends to open the floor for his teammates, especially guys like Mobley and Jarrett Allen, as it gives them more room to operate inside the paint. Last season, the Illinois native attempted 563 triples. 476 of those were of the catch and shoot variety. That breaks down to roughly 84.5% of his overall triples. He's drilled 36.1% of those. Not world-shattering by any means, but respectable nevertheless, to say the least. Defenses at the very least knew that they needed to account for him on the perimeter, whether he was on the move, stationed in the corners, or above the break. 1.8 of his 6.8 attempts were what the NBA considers tightly defended. That may not sound like much, but it was actually the second most on the team, behind only Donovan Mitchell's 2 per game, and he ranked 17th in that category league-wide. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass when I say that opposing teams respect his ability to shoot. He is truly a catch and shoot specialist, evidenced by the fact that 424 of his 563 3-point attempts have been in zero dribble territory. He catches and fires away. Many of those were the result of a perfectly executed off-screen action that typically featured another ball handler finding a moving Strus as he was using a screen to his advantage. And while Strus may not be as big as a pull-up threat as, say, thor or Donovan Mitchell, he's also capable of knocking them down from time to time. He managed to attempt 54 pull-up trays last season. In terms of location, Strus basically lives above the break. 64.3% of his 3-point attempts came from that area last year. And overall, when you think about adding a sharpshooter like Strus to an already league-leading perimeter attack, the possibilities could be endless. Number 2, facilitation. This became immediately apparent at the beginning of last season as we routinely saw Strus work opposing defenses and find an open man, whether they were cutting to the basket or in the dunker spot. He had secondary playmaking to a very potent lineup. As of recording this video, the Cavs are 8th in the association in assists per game as a team with a collective 28.1 helpers per contest. The starting backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland alone account for 10.9 of those on a nightly basis. Adding an underrated ball handler in Strus into the equation would only do further justice in regards to getting those 2 more off-ball opportunities.
Garland to the foul line, off to Strus. Down to Garland, he'll fire the corner. 3! Darius Garland knocks it down.
And something else that cannot be overstated was the chemistry in the 2-man game he developed with the likes of Mobley and Jarrett Allen. The DHO, or dribble handoff, was a real weapon the Cavs utilized to great effect in 2023-24, with Strus often being handed the ball and one of Mobley or Allen rolling to the rim for an easy bucket off of a Strus feed, or Strus just simply immediately pulling up off of said DHO. Honestly, one of my favorite ways that they leveraged both his ability to shoot and facilitate was by faking the DHO and then feeding it to him over the top, where he would then reroute it to a cutting big out of the dunker spot. It's one of the ways the team created vertical spacing with both bigs on the floor, with one executing the action with Strus and the other either in a corner or in the dunker spot, thus opening the floor for a clean lob attempt or shooter on the perimeter.
Mobley finds Strus, who cuts once again to Allen, and Allen thumps it home as a Cavs.
Strus got pretty good at the pocket pass last year too, managing to find both Jarrett Allen and Mobley as they executed a DHO action and rolled to the rim. A number of his career best 4 assists per game were of this variety in 2023-24. And while he didn't necessarily drive as much as others on the roster, he was a very effective passer when doing so. Strus would end the 2023-24 campaign with the team's second best assist percentage on drives at 17.5%. He had 52 total assists off of drives, 4th most among rotation players. And I must say, with the team seemingly making it a priority to get Mobley more on-ball reps, Strus's drive totals may take a hit. But when he does get the opportunities, look for him to make the most of them. He is capable of bringing the ball up the floor, creating offense for others, and making the extra pass when called upon. All of these things will only serve to further bolster the ball movement that Kenny Atkinson has put in place.
Donovan wheeled his way to the basket. Strus made the play. Get that weak stuff out of here. Yes. Mitchell. Hey, knocks it down.
Number 3, rebounding. Now this might be a little less sexy than the other two, but we would be foolish to not discuss the impact that he brings to the table as a rebounder. Last year, Strus pulled down a career best 4.8 boards, which was 4th most on the team. He was 4th on the team in total contested rebounds with 73 total on the season, among players under 6'7" and who played at least 65 games. And yes, I'm going to use 65 as a qualifier because of the award criteria. Strus pulled down the 13th most rebounds. I say all this to say that he is a solid positional rebounder relative to his size. He is definitely someone who will fight for loose rebounds and attack the glass in general. And for a team that ranks 19th in total rebounds with 43.1 per game, adding another respectable rebounder, especially at the 3, could help tremendously. He is probably the best rebounder among all the current options on the roster capable of lighting up at the 3. And don't get me wrong, Dean Wade has also been a solid rebounder, but Strus is probably slightly better at this point in his career, but it's close. Jalen Tyson is also a quality rebounder in his own right. In time, it could prove to be one of his best skills. At worst, you are adding someone back into the rotation of wings who you can trust to pull down rebounds and not be a net negative in that regard. Overall, the Cavs are adding a player into the fold who may be tailor-made for this type of offense. Hell, he knocked on the 7th most catch and shoot triples in the league last year with 172. He's damn good off ball, he's a solid ball handler, he's an underrated defender, and doesn't get enough love for his work as a cutter.
In this game, Strus to the basket, he crushes it home. Max Strus throws one to hammer down, I like it.
Max Strus will make one of the league's best offenses even deadlier. That'll do it, folks. What are you most excited to see at Max Strus' return? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, go Cavs.